new face on the show today. Barry Anderson is here to discuss what is going on in the NBA. Barry, welcome to Run It Back.
Thank you, Sydney.
Thank you, Tyler.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you for that. More touch base on with.
Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Sydney. Thank you, Nambia. Thank you, Nambia. Thank you, Chad, for that update, Lauren. Good morning, KU Sports, and I'm joined by Noah Ginsburg and Liam Carson. And first, we're going to talk about Baylor versus Kansas recap. This is our thank you, Lauren.
Claire, our Hawks are hawking. Team USA has been quite the blockbuster in the basketball world. They recently won their fourth game against Italy. They beat Italy 100-64, which was the biggest win currently at the World Cup. We do have some breaking news though. Germany just beat Team USA 113-111 and will move on to the final. Raptors guard Dennis Schroeder and Magic forward Franz Wagner were notable NBA players to lead the way for Germany, combining for 39 points. On the USA side, Edwards led the way with 23 points, but it wasn't enough to bring Germany's team down. Thank you, Tyler. In the world of baseball, the biggest headline of August has been Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco. On August 14th, Franco was put on administrative leave for accusations of his involvement in a relationship with a minor. Since the initial accusation, there have been two more girls who have spoke up about Franco. The first girl said she was in a relationship with Franco and had pictures with him on social media, but her account has since then been deleted. At Tropicana Field, the home of the Rays, all Franco's signage, merchandise, and memorabilia has been removed. The move comes 5 months after Franco signed an 11-year, $182 million contract extension with the Rays. Franco is MLB's latest victim of the law. Earlier this year, Yankees pitchers Jimmy Cordero and Domingo German have been suspended for a total of 86 games for involvement in domestic abuse issues. Whether or not Franco will be suspended is still in the air. As he is still under investigation by MLB and Dominican authorities, in Franco's case, his involvement with the minor could warrant a more severe punishment. Next up, let's check in with Richie on one of UFC's best rising young stars.
It's a beautiful day in Lawrence, Kansas, and the NBA season is almost here. The preseason starts today, and to all the KU fans of the NBA, you have a lot to look forward to this season. I'm going to break down the top 3 dark horse teams to look out for this NBA season. Starting off the first team, the Atlanta Hawks. They have made some fantastic moves this offseason, adding depth on the bench that includes Frank Kaminsky, Trent Forrest, Tyrese Martin, and Aaron Holiday. These were smart moves from Atlanta. Their biggest offseason addition was DeJounte Murray. If you've seen the chemistry of Trae Young, Murray, and John Collins in the Drew League, you just know they are a team to look out for. Now that Trae Young has more help, it'll be a problem in Atlanta. I have them going at the 6th seed. Our next team will be the New Orleans. Something special in the NBA happened on Tuesday night. Lakers star LeBron James passed Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as all-time scoring leader. Nobody thought it would ever happen. It's been 38 years since Kareem took over Wilt Chamberlain's record. LeBron is 38 years old, and he also did it on the 38th day of the year, and he scored 38 points that game. A wild coincidence to think about. James scored his 36 points off of a fadeaway against Thunder shooting guard Kenrich Williams with 11 seconds left in the third quarter. All the cameras were on James, and many caught that moment. Many people in the media world would have thought he would have ended it on a skyhook, just like Kareem's signature move back then. In the spite of the moment, James did what he wanted to do to pass the scoring record. Many of James' family and friends went out to support him on this night, including his wife Savannah and children Bronny and Bryce. It was pretty destined he would accomplish this. When he scored his 36-point, officials stopped the game, and James became very emotional and gave his speech. This is a night James won't forget. It's great to be back. The first thing we want to talk about is MVP rankings before All-Star break. No surprise, Nuggets center Nikola Jokic is at the top of the bunch. He could potentially win his 3rd MVP in a row if he keeps up what he's doing right now. He's averaging 25 points, 11 rebounds, and 10 assists a game. According to Basketball Reference, he currently has a 69% chance of winning it if the season ended right now. He plays a big part in the Nuggets being at the top seed in the West right now. And he has been dominant with both his playmaking and finding creative ways to put the ball in the basket. Now, moving on, we have to talk about a guy who has been phenomenal in the past 8 games with his other big guy who is also in the MVP race that is currently injured. Yes, I'm talking about the best ball handler of all time, Kyrie Irving. According to StatMuse, Kyrie Irving averages 31 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds in the past 9 games without Kevin Durant. He recently jumped in the top 10.
Thank you, Sydney. The West has been over the rails this past week. We're actually going to make headway to the Suns and Clippers. Despite the Suns being up 3-1, right now we have to look at the fact that Russell Westbrook these past 3 games has scored over 25 points, with his recent game going for 37, 6, and 4. And has been a wonderkin. You obviously have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, who are currently leading scorer undeterred by shooting the less 3-point attempts, and I just found a way to be a tear. Also, Chris Paul and DeAndre Ayton. The absence of Kawhi and Paul George is too much for Westbrook and the Clippers. The games have been close. Tune in for tonight's game at 9 o'clock in Arizona. Now we're going to shift over to the Nuggets versus Timberwolves. The Timberwolves just avoided being swept on Sunday thanks to Anthony Edwards. He drizzled 34 points and came clutch in overtime. These two teams also meet tonight. A big question is, can the Timberwolves take Jokic and the Nuggets to a game?
That time is getting closer. You should really be prepared on what's destined to happen these next 13 days. Well, unless if you're a fan of a team that's not in contention. We don't know what's in store right now, but it's going to be a lot of controversy. When you see this empty bracket, you see potential of teams, who the big dog is and who the underdog is. First team I want to talk about is the Dallas Mavericks. They went on a 4-game losing streak, but broke it yesterday with the win over the Pacers. They have been 7-9 since adding Kyrie. Luka and Kyrie haven't played that many games together. You have to let chemistry run its course. When it does, this duo will be scary by April 11th. Moving up, we have again a sticky situation between the 4th seed through the 11th seed. Remember, 3 of these teams won't see the playoffs. There's been a little heat between the Bulls and Lakers. Bulls guard Patrick Beverley used to be Laker, doesn't want his past team in the playoffs. AD, of course, had to chime in defending his team. Unfortunately for the Los Angeles Lakers, they lost on Sunday, which round matchups over the weekend and including yesterday. First, we're going to start off with the Philadelphia 76ers taking on the Brooklyn Nets. The Sixers offense, mainly their starting 5, put on a show the first game. Tobias Harris, Joel Embiid, and James Harden all combined for 69 points, and Harden also accounted for 13 assists. The Nets defense put their will to collide on Joel Embiid. It wasn't a smart thing to do because all he did was swing into the open guy for the shot. Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, the twins, combined for 48 points. It just wasn't enough as the 76ers took the first game up 121-101. Second game, these two combined for 49 points, and 6 players that played in the first game for the Nets didn't play at all. Cam Thomas, a scoring threat, has only played 5 minutes so far. Sixers take care of business in game 2, and as the leading scorer, Tyrese Maxey helped seal the deal. Moving on to the Wild Wild West. Time to light the beans. Another set of teams that played 2 games. Somewhat flowing by. First, let's talk about the Milwaukee Bucks. They faced off against the New Orleans Pelicans on Sunday, Bucks winning 135-110, giving the Pelicans their 8th straight loss. The Pelicans, who are at the top of their conference now, sit in the 8th spot at 26-25. The Pelicans are still in the absence of Ingram and Williamson. Although Ingram is set to return Tuesday to play against the Nuggets, it is still questionable on his toe. The Pelicans still won't know when Williams is set to return. With both players eventually going to come back to playing together, Pelican fans should have a lot of optimism in their team being back at the top of the conference. The other side, though, Giannis Antetokounmpo, who had his 5th career 50-point game, adds on to one of his best career games. He had a whopping 50 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 assists. He went 20 for 26 in field goals and did all of this only in 30 minutes. Drew Holiday and Brook Lopez contributed to the table, combining for 32 points, making the Bucks only 1 game behind the Philadelphia 76ers. Moving on, the thing that a lot of people have been talking about in the media this week is the Los Angeles Lakers. The game played against the Celtics Friday night built up a lot of controversy at the end of regulation. Tied up 102, the Lakers star forward LeBron James received the ball in an inbound play with 4 seconds left, drove in, and missed a potential game-winning layup. He indeed was. Thank you, Nam. You are just 3 days away from NBA All-Star Weekend. A lot of NBA fans have been waiting for this moment. There have been spicy things heating up before the break, the trades, the teams trying to get their last couple wins before break. On February 3rd, dunk contest participants were announced that Max McClung, Trey Murphy, KJ Martin, and Shaedon Sharpe are rumored to participate. Only 2 of these guys were confirmed, according to CBS. A lot of people wanted Zion and John Morant in their dunk contest, but only time will tell when we get to see that matchup. Next, I have to inform you about 3-point participants. It's confirmed by Bleacher Report that Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, and Anthony Simmons are confirmed to be participants. It's also rumored that Lauri Markkanen wants to run it back. It would only make sense for him to play in because it's Salt Lake City, where he currently plays. I'm confident he will. He won it back in 2020 with the Sacramento Kings, where his 3-point shooting percentage was at a 43%. He's currently having a career best year right now, averaging 24 points, 8 boards, and 1 assist. He has a 51 field goal percentage, and he is also an all-star reserve. If he wants to participate, he will be somebody to look out for. And if you're hearing great things about March Madness college basketball, let's get into the professionals. Main thing I'm going to inform you about today is the current seeding for the playoff situation. First thing we're going to look at is the West. First, we got the Denver Nuggets. First team in the West to clinch the playoffs, are looking to try to make a deep run in this year's playoffs. Last year, they didn't have Jamal Murray, but now Nuggets fans should be very optimistic. Next, we're going to talk about the Sacramento Kings. They are second in the West and have been underrated this year. Like the Beam is coming this year. A lot of people threw trading away Halliburton and Hill for Domantas Sabonis was a bad idea, but turns out it was the best. Also, adding Malik Monk and picking up Keegan Murray from the draft was a steal. We need to talk about another thing going on in the Wild West. Denver, Sacramento, and Memphis are realistically the surprises. Our first wow is Seattle Seahawks star wide receiver. DK Metcalf finished with 20 points and 10 rebounds. He had 6 amazing dunks. He was the 2023 Ruffles Celebrity All-Star MVP. The NFL is supposed to drug test him this week based off how high he was dunking. But come on, this is DK Metcalf without pads. Later on that night was the Rising Stars game. The new format caught a lot of fans' eyes. It is a term between 4 teams with 7 to 8 players per team. 2 sets of teams play each other in the semifinals, and the winner faces off in the championship game, which were Team Pal and Team Jason. The target goal for the second game was 40, and in 2 games, with playing 1 quarter per game, Team Pal was able to get both wins. Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado, a.k.a. Grand Theft Alvarado, won Rising Stars MVP. He had 13 points the first game. NBA All-Star Weekend. There have been a lot of wows and surprises. Our first wow is Seattle Seahawks star wide receiver DK Metcalf. He finished with 20 points and 10 rebounds. He had 6 amazing dunks. He was a 2023 Ruffles Celebrity All-Star MVP. The NFL is supposed to drug test him this week based off how high he was dunking, but come on, this is DK Metcalf without pads. Later on that night was the Rising Stars games. The new format caught a lot of fans' eyes. It is a tournament between 4 teams with 7 to 8 players per team. 2 sets of teams play each other in the semifinals. The winner faces off in the championship game, which were Team Pal and Team Jason. The target goal was 65 in 2 games with playing 1 quarter per game. Team Pal was able to get both wins. Pelicans guard Jose Alvarado, a.k.a. Grand Theft Alvarado, won Rising Stars MVP. He had 13 points the first game and the second.
There's a lot to cover for KU sports, and the first thing we're going to touch base on is Jayhawks football. With their recent win over Nevada, the Jayhawks are now 3-0, beating Nevada 31-24 in a close one. KU football is looking to start off where they left from last year. Within the first 3 games, they have outscored opponents 113-64 so far, and their next game at home will be against an undefeated BYU team. Somebody's going to have to lose this game, and it will be interesting. Moving around from the football field to the soccer field, we're going to dig deep with KU women's soccer. They are currently 1-5, which means they've tied 5 times with only 1 loss and have won 3 times. The team has a total of 19 goals with 118 shot attempts. Midfielder Holly Clanke led the team in points and goals. She has made a name for herself despite missing the whole season last year. The women's team is undefeated at home, but they go on the road this Thursday to play Oklahoma State, so tune in for that game. Lastly, going from the field to the court, KU women's volleyball is also something to look forward to. The Lady Jayhawks are currently 9-1, and they are ranked 20th right now after sweeping Texas State this past Saturday at the Jayhawk Classic in Horsey Family Volleyball Arena. Comparing their first 10 games from last year, they also started 9-1, but ended up being 19-11 in the end. If you are a KU volleyball fan, you'll want the volleyball team to start out strong and finish strong. Reagan Cooper and Aya El-Nadi lead the team in.
Have been great, but these first round of the NBA playoffs have been meshuggah. There have been 4 series upsets, 3 overtimes, a 35-foot game winner, 1 50-point game, and 2 play-in teams that advanced to the next round in the first, second, third, and fourth seed overall for each conference was eliminated. I'm going to Notion on the MVP for each series. We're going to start out with the Grizzlies and the Lakers. We're going to actually take a turn. We're going to share MVPs with LeBron James and Anthony Davis. They both balled out against the Grizzlies. The odds were against him. AD accounted for half the Lakers' blocks with 27 overall. His most notable game was his game where he had 31 and 17. Now, LeBron's best game was his 22-point, 20-rebound game, and both of these guys did their share and did what they had to do. Lakers play tonight against the Warriors at 10 o'clock p.m. Our next game is Warriors versus Kings. It's so saddening for Kings fans. De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk tried. Domantas Sabonis tried, and it was just a struggle for them at the end.
KU Sports.
As I said again, the NBA season has almost approached us. I have a lot of information to inform you, some interesting NBA news to go over. So the first part of our NBA news is I want to talk about Metropolitan's 92 star, Victor Wembanyama, who is a top 2023 NBA draft prospect. He's projected to go either number 1 or number 2 in the NBA 2023 draft. He is a dominant force, has an all-around game, and can handle the ball very well. Wembanyama recently dropped 37 points in the loss against the G League Ignite. He played against another potential number 1 or number overall 2 pick, Scott Henderson. And after the game, he said, "If I was never born, I think he would deserve the first spot." Chargers played last night. A very close game as the score ended with the Chiefs out on top, 27-24. Mahomes, who is now 22-3 versus AFC West opponents, threw 2 touchdowns and 235 yards. On the other end was Justin Herbert, who threw 3 touchdowns and 335 yards and a crucial interception that turned the game's momentum around. Herbert had to battle it with the rib injury near the end. He kept getting hit in the same spot after the first time. The pressure was coming. Even though the Chargers lost, Herbert battled through adversity, but it wasn't enough to secure the win. Both of these teams fought hard. Each team made some great plays, and the Chiefs were able to get the job done. I enjoyed the game, and I feel Mahomes versus Herbert will be the battle for the next decade to come. Show that will include a KU football recap. This week's key matchup on the gridiron, Liam breaking down the road to the college football playoff, KU table discussion, sports weather with Aaron, and lastly, Walker's locks of the weekend. Now I'm Barry Anderson. We have a great show that will include some KC Royals news, KU football recap, KU table discussion, this week key matchup on the gridiron, sports weather with Aaron, and lastly, Walker's locks of the weekend. I'm Barry Anderson, and we have a great show ahead. There's a lot going on in sports, and we are here to cover it.
We've got a World Series update, a new.
Good morning, KU Sports. I'm joined by Liam Carson and Noah Ginsberg. First, we're going to talk about what we did over fall break.
Thank you, Jackson. This week has been phenomenal for football. At Sunday night, the Dallas defense shut out the Giants 40-0. And this week, I'm going to be critiquing on 2 star players of the night, linebacker Marquise Bell and defensive end Michael Parsons. So on this play, we're going to start with Marquise Bell. As you can see right here, they're in a kind of a DB fire blitz right here. And as you see, Bell's right here located, and they're anticipating the run. So you see he's going to anticipate and go through the gap. So let's see what the play looking like. Obviously, phenomenal play to destroy the Giants run, what they had on all night. But let's go into another play and see how the pass run was going. So we're going to start right here. As you see, Michael Parsons Graduation day is around the corner. Emotions are piling up. Families are excited about their relatives to finally graduate. On March 29, 2023, the KU Edwards Regent Center hosted their 2023 Spring Graduation Fair. This event is an easier way for future graduates to get their photos took and an easier way to buy cap and gown outfits. A few sources went deeper to tell us what this event was about and the impact it had on students.
And the goal is really to help them prepare for commencement, and part of that's very transactional. Buy your cap and gown, get fitted, get the tassels you need, take a look at diploma frames.
Not only are they offering graduation photos and cap and gowns, but there is also KU gear, antiques, jewelry, and other things that can represent a future KU graduate. The KU Alumni Association played a big part in this event. We got to look on a student's perspective view on how this event impacted her.
Definitely made things a lot easier to be able to come in and buy everything, but it also made graduation like a lot more real, like in real time, like this is actually happening.
Graduates can't wait for the day when they receive their degree and move their tassel to the left. The See You in the Major Leagues Foundation held its second annual Top Golf event on Thursday, May 25th. Dayton Moore, who's the founder of this organization, set this event up. As celebrities and donors were checking in, there were people setting up for the event. Al Wallace, retired sports broadcaster from Fox 4, hosted the event. The place was filled with excitement and their golf clubs connecting with the golf balls. People also filled the air with conversation and enjoyed fine dining. Celebrities even got to face each other in a long shot competition, showing their competitive sides. Dayton Moore explains to us how this event and overall organization impacts the students and brings happiness.
Always do the following: develop your mind, develop your body, and develop your soul. It's mind, body, and spirit. You want to have mentors in your life that understand the importance of faith, that can speak truth into your life, because the challenges of life don't get easier as we age.
Other celebrities such as Rex Hudler and Jeff Judea, who are mentors for the students at the event, and tells us their point of view of how this organization impacts the young community.
It's enjoy every day of life, and don't look behind you, don't stay behind you, looking ahead. Look ahead for opportunities. Look for a chance to grow. Look for a career job and set your goals high. That's way more than one.
Say, just be open to it. Just always have your hearts open and your minds open, and great things are going to happen.
Now, there are 10 C's, and each student has one C that describes them well. Jaden tells us his favorites.
Character has been built through my life since I was a kid. I mean, growing up in a family where, I have different role models, it's just been incredible.
Moore, who started this organization in 2015, looks to expand it more than before and guide more kids to a brighter future. Barry Anderson, C10 TV.
We're going to wrap up this evening. This has been a great evening C10 has provided for us, from our celebrities doing our long shot competition to introducing the celebrities. C10 has been a great experience. Students have been phenomenal, and things have been great overall. This is Barry Anderson, C10 Network.